Hello, I'm Lee, and this is Creative Smartphone Photography. I am a photographer, and I use quite a lot of different types of cameras. One of them happens to be my smartphone, because it's always with me. So this little device is fantastic, isn't it? It can be in your pocket the whole day, always available to create photographs. And maybe the photographs you take with your smartphone are okay. Maybe one or two of them are good. What we're here to do today is to help you to create better smartphone photographs, possibly even great smartphone photographs. So I'm going to give you 10 tips in a moment, and those will help you to create better photographs, possibly even great. And then at the end of that, there's a little fun photo activity where you're going to create 5 photographs to illustrate 5 topics, 1 photo per topic. More of that later after this slideshow on 10 smartphone photography tips. Here we go. Okay, let's go with smartphone photography. Firstly, a little question. What do you think is the most important part of the camera? What do you think? The shutter? Maybe the lens? Maybe something else? What do you think? No. The most important part of the camera is you, because you decide which way to point the camera and what to point it at and how close you're going to get. You are the most important part of the camera. So let's talk about improving your ability to point the camera. We're all photographers now. We've all got a smartphone. But here's 10 tips to help improve the quality of your photographs. Firstly, clean the lens. You probably know this. It's dirty all the time, isn't it? It's in your pocket. Just take it out regularly. Give it a clean with a little bit of a clean cloth. Don't tell anyone, but I usually use my t-shirt. So, clean lens equals sharp photos, no blurriness. For example, I got down really close here to this leaf. I was attracted by the shapes of the skin of the water, known as the meniscus, around the edge and how it reflected the sky. Which brings me on to number 2. Do not zoom. I got really close to that leaf, didn't I? I used my feet. I got on my knees actually and got close. Don't zoom or get close or crop after. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a moment. So here we go. Here's a photo. You might think that's reasonably close, but maybe you've created and you thought, I could get that a little bit closer. I'd like to crop it around about there. Now you can probably do this on your camera phone so that it look like that. But for the next point, number 3, I'm going to suggest you get an app to help you post-process your photos. Post-processing means the work you do after the photo has been created to make it look even better. I use something called Snapseed. The main screen looks like this. Okay, so you can see there's lots of options there. There's actually another row below the bottom one you can see of things to do. But the one we're talking about here is crop. There it is, and it's on this app there. It does lots of other things. I'll come back to that in a moment. Here we go. Here's a photo I took using my phone of some Welsh poppies. And what I did in Snapseed was added a reverse there. So I reversed the photo, rotated it, and then put the first photo on top of the second photo. It's called multiple exposure, and then made it brighter, redder, and squarer. And I got this. That's now my screensaver on my phone. Just a very attractive pattern created in Snapseed. Number 4, possibly one of the more important ones, Turn airplane mode on. Why? Well, there's a lot of distractions from your phone, isn't there? You could decide you're out with your camera and you get a message. You get tempted to look at your Facebook account. Don't do any of those things. Really turn your phone into what it is going to be, just a camera. Switch airplane mode on. Number 5, learn to use it. Click on the camera icon and look at the options you've got there. Play around with them. See what they do. Practice. See what you can do. Create with your camera. Number 6, avoid using the flash. Now you've probably got it turned on auto flash at the moment. If you look at the screen when you've gone in to look at the camera icon, you might notice something like this. This is my phone, and as you can see, I've got some choices there where I can turn the flash off. It's usually on the middle one next to it there with the A. That means automatic. That means the camera's deciding when to flash. Don't do that. You decide when you want to use the flash. Most of the time you don't need it. When you do need it, turn it on the right hand of those 3 little icons. Number 7, learn how to see a photo or see an opportunity for a photo. What's all that about? It's coming in a moment. With my friend, Mr. Frog. You like him? I love this photo. Okay. Number 8, learn photography composition basics. Now, I could write a book on composition. Lots of people have. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to share a couple of tips with you in a moment about photography composition that will improve your photographs. Number 9, find interesting light. Well, photography means like drawing. Drawing with light. Photography is all about light. How do you find interesting light? Well, here's a little tip. Late at sunset or at sunrise, the light turns golden. Yeah, this is Caswell Beach in Swansea. Beautiful light reflected off the sea, making a gorgeous colour scene. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, create photos that are personal to you, that you are interested in. Because if you're not interested, nobody else will. But hopefully if you're interested, other people will be. So share something of how you see the world. For example, you want to know how my hair got to be how it is? There you go. 4 photographs that tell a story. These were all taken with my phone. They were then put together in Snapseed and then shared on Instagram, telling a story of my crazy hair day a few Saturdays ago. There we go, 10 smartphone photography tips. Clean the lens. Don't zoom. Get an app. Turn airplane mode on. Learn how to use your camera. Avoid using the flash. Learn how to see a photo. Learn photography composition basics. Find interesting light and create personal photos that tell a story or share an idea. Okay, as promised, the frog. Let's look at how we can see a photograph, because looking is a gift. We can all look, but seeing is a power, said Mr. Jeff Burner, a photographer. Here's an example. You decide where to put the frame. Cameras frame what they see in this little rectangle, don't they? But you decide where to put it. So I created this photo at a wedding. The boys on the wall, 2 of them smelling the rose and the other one looking bored in the middle. But what do you think the girl is thinking? Is she bored? Is she on her own? Is she lonely? Things like that, yeah? But because I put the frame there, what you can't see, she was actually talking to another girl opposite her on the other side of the steps. But I've created a different story by where I put the frame. Also, smartphone lenses are super wide. Wide angle lenses, that's called. so you get a lot in. So don't be too far away. I'm actually about 3 foot away here, using a little selfie stick to create this photo of all of the huge trees. But although they're wide angle, you can also get super close. They're pretty good at focusing close up. So I can get super close to this leaf and still have lots of other leaves in the photograph. But how can you see a photo opportunity? Okay, so there's a little technique for you, something you can think about when you're out with your smartphone camera. You arrive at your garden, let's say. You're going into your garden, or your backyard, or your front yard, or a room to take some photographs. You arrive there. You take a look around. You breathe a little. You walk slowly, just seeing what is there. You try not to get in your head. Your head's telling you, look for a photograph. Your head's telling you, you're hungry. Your head's telling you to check your Facebook. Tell your head to be quiet and just look at what is there. Walk slowly around the space. Don't look for a photo though. Just notice what you can see, and then the photo will find you. Something will stop you. And when that happens, just rest and look at what is there. Just look at it. Do you have to get closer? Should you go higher, lower, right, left? Just look at what is there. What made you stop? And then create the photo. There you go. Simple. Arrive, walk slowly, don't look for a photo, let the photo find you. Rest and look at it, and then create the photo. Let's have a little look at photo composition now. We know how to see. So that technique you can use when you're out creating your photographs. But what does photo composition mean? Well, here's my simplest definition. Arranging the things within the frame in a way that looks the best that it can. Okay, now, as I mentioned earlier, photography composition is a huge topic. So, we're going to concentrate on a few things. Firstly, your point of view is the most important thing. Where you stand, sit, lie, climb up to, etc., is the most important thing, because that controls what's in the frame. Move your feet. Many people are lazy. They just take their photo from where they're stood or sat. You move around, move your feet, get closer. Don't be scared. Right, we're going to concentrate on one. You know that you've got to change your point of view. And then what you're going to look for to put in the frame are these 7 things. And they're called elements of visual design. They're not just relevant to photography, they're relevant to all forms of art, particularly those that use a frame. Drawing and painting as well, for example. Here we go. Number 1, shape. So in nature, the shapes tend to be organic, soft, rounded. This was a leaf, and I noticed that when I got down low, changed its shape into a heart, a yellow heart against a grey background. Pop. Fantastic, yeah? Shapes that are man-made tend to have straight lines. This bus that I got close to create this kind of abstract London image is all straight lines, rectangles, squares. So the shapes, they tend to be organic if they're in nature, or straight lined rectangles and squares if they're human made. That's shape. Form is quite similar. Shape is 2-dimensional. What is form? Can I hear you? Yeah, 3-dimensional. So not only does it have height and width, it has depth. So these tulips, you know these tulips aren't flat. You know they have shape, they have depth. So how you use the light helps to create that idea in the viewer's mind that something is not flat, even though the screen you're looking at is flat now, it has depth. So that's form. There you go. Say, for example, not flat vegetables, are they? No. And then lines. Now, I saw the opportunity for this photo from a long way away, and I walked closer because I could see that the edges of the steps created white lines pointing through the photograph to the little man, top left-hand corner, who's walking away from me in the frame. So I've used the lines on the steps to point the viewer at the subject, which is the little man down the way. But lines can also exist. This example is a location in London where man-made lines can be used to point at the people in the photograph who are actually in the bottom corner of the frame, which is quite unusual, but the lines all point to them. And then you can use colour. Mr. Frog, he's here again, telling us that pink or orange, for example, like his eyes, goes really well with green. Pops. The colour pops. So certain colours really work with each other, and you can learn which colours work well with each other. So that you may remember from your other lessons, the three primary colours. Do you remember what they are? Yeah, red, yellow, and blue. And the secondary colours are green, orange, and purple. That's right. So every primary colour has a secondary colour that really sets it off. Green and red, for example. So that's colour, and here we are. I'm using different shades of the same colour here to illustrate this photo of me with my hound. And we've got blues and greens that are similar shades to make the photo feel calm and harmonious. And the dog looking at the camera, posing. Okay, the next one is texture. So a lot of surfaces have texture, and that is intriguing. So for example, by getting close to the stream, you got the difference of the sand and the water creating texture. Pattern is the sixth one. These are a man-made arrangement, again, straight lines. Father Christmas is on offer. But in nature, patterns tend to be more beautiful, don't they? This is one of the first photos I ever created with my phone, and it's taken really close, as you can see. You can see the droplets of water. It's coped really well, hasn't it? But a nice organic shape and lines, and then, therefore, a pattern. Finally, number 7, space. As you can see, this girl has something to jump into, has got space to jump into. Also, she actually frames the other 3 girls underneath her who are running into the sea. So, space. Use space in a photo to hold the subject of interest. For example, at a gig here, this guy, you know he's looking at a crowd. You can't see the crowd. The hand that's in the space there gives you an idea there's more people behind them, and he's looking at something. So you know this is a gig, and you know that it's busy by using space. So there we have 7 elements of visual design: shape, form, line, colour, texture, pattern, and space. 7 things to remember. Do you think you can do it? I think you can. Let's have a little test. Which of the 7 elements of design are used in these next 2 photos? Okay, so this is a scene at one of my local parks. We got a bit of colour there, obviously, haven't we? Bit of blue sky setting off the shapes, yeah? We've got shapes there, and forms as well. They're really more shape-like, though we know that they've got depth. They're more shape-like because they're silhouettes. So we've got the pigeons, we've got the tree, palm tree, and we've got the fence. Sharp, clean lines that pow, you really see what's going on there, don't you? What about this one? Which of the 7 elements of design are being used here? Can I hear you say pattern? Yep, there's the pattern there. What shape, though, do the girls' skates all make? If you drew a line around the edge of their skates, what would you have? And this is what drew me to create the photo. I thought I could see a map of Australia. So it's a shape that drew me to it. And the pattern and the way the lines of their arms all point to the middle. Yeah, that makes an interesting photo. And to take that photo, I got up high. I stood on a chair and then put the phone over the top of them. Hello again. Okay, so now you have 10 smartphone photography tips. All we need to do now is put them into action. See what you like using them and creating some great photographs. So you need to go to an outside space for this, and I'm going to give you a little photo activity to do. So I've come out to my outside space. You don't have to do it outside. You could do it in the house as well. Or if you have the possibility of going out, you could do it in your local park, the beach, whatever. But try and do it in a small space to start with. So, the photo activity. Photo fun activity. 5 photos, 5 topics. You remember? 1 photo for each topic. No more, no less. So you finish with just 5 photos. And I'm going to walk you through what it's like to walk around a space, seeing what is there, but not looking for a photo, waiting for the photo to jump out at you. So I'm going to take my smartphone and video that process. So they're going to be kind of my eyes, or what I see as I walk around my outside space, my deck. So you'll see all that in a moment. But let's just quickly talk about the 5 topics. So first up, this is me, which is a kind of selfie, but it does not have to be face. It could be your feet. It could be another part of your body. It could be part of you. It could be a reflection of you in a window. It could be the shadow of you in something. Or it could even be something that represents you, like a doll or a little model or something you love. Anything. Or it can be you. But don't just do your standard selfie. Get creative. Come up with something really imaginative. So that's number 1. This is me. Number 2 is view from my window. So you choose a window in your house and you create a photo out of that window. Pretty straightforward, you might think. But how can you be creative? What might be the view? Could you influence that anyway? So for example, the entrance to my deck here is 2 glass doors. I could take a photo through those and I could have something on my deck already that would be in the photo, like other people or a dog or whatever. So think about the view from your window. That's number 2. Number 3 is lockdown love. Something you love about being in lockdown. Now if you're viewing this after lockdown and you're out and about, then it could just be something reflecting back on what it was like and what you really liked about being in lockdown. So that's number 3, lockdown love. Number 4 is Wales, where we are now. A photo that represents Wales for you. That's an opportunity for you to be creative. And finally, number 5, fun. What does fun mean to you? And how can you illustrate that in a photograph taken in and around your house? Okay, those are your 5 topics. Now I'm going to take you around my deck and show you the process of looking for. Not looking, no, not looking. Oh, I'm looking for a photo. What did I say? Seeing what is there and waiting for the photo to come out at me. See, I know what I'm doing. Oh, goodness, and I still make mistakes. That's okay, it's difficult. It is difficult to do what I'm suggesting. So, here comes a little tour. Okay, here we go. Quick tour of the deck. Talking about what it's like to just walk and see the possibility of a photo. I've started inside, and I'm actually on my knees, because when I walked up to this space, I saw that I could create a photo from a window. So this is the view through my doors, glass doors, with the camera, and I've come down low so you can see the camera silhouetted against the sky. Okay, a little wander through the space. Let's see what we see. Walk through, noticing what is there. What's this on the floor? Ooh, a skipping rope. Now, look at that. If I created some dynamic lines, the blue curvy shapes show up really well against the dynamic lines of the deck. Interesting. Walking on. And then, oh, what's this? Maybe with the blue curve and the little flowers. Maybe something that's there. I'll come back to have a look at that. And of course I've got a lot of sunshine now. Oh look, creating shadows, interesting shadows, something else to play with. Different shapes, patterns and textures there. Walking through, seeing the bits I've left on the floor after I finish filming. And then what about me? Aspects of me. There's my slippers. There's my feet. All of these could be representative of me. In this darker space here, I'm going to turn around quickly and see what I can see back in. Oh look, shadows as well. Excellent. So walk around your space. Notice what is there. Notice the view. Look, don't forget to look up. Ooh, black line. Okay, don't get too excited. Just notice. Silhouette of next door scaffolding. Reflections again of me. Wow, look at that. Okay, there we go. That is seeing a photograph, not looking for one. Right, I just wanted to show you 4 photographs that I created on the deck using the 7 elements of visual design. Here we go, view from my window of the deck. If you're going to turn a photo, make sure you do it dynamically like this. This has created several triangles, can you see? And makes the colours and shapes a little bit more interesting. Here is the view we saw earlier of my skipping rope, and a triangle again of shadow, which will be a theme in these couple of photos, the dynamic lines of the deck that highlight the curvy lines of the skipping rope. Something similar going on here, dynamic deck, curvy pot, blue pot, colour works well as well, yellow and blue and red, all primary colours, against the rather greyish beige deck. And finally, me, shadow. Thought I'd convert this one in Snapseed to black and white, following a theme again with a triangle of shadow and the shadow of me, obviously, creating the photo. That's it. On we go. Okay, tour finished. You've seen how the process works. All you got to do now is create your 5 photographs. Okay? Any questions? Sorry, I can't hear them. 5 questions, 5 topics, and then create just those 5 photos. No more, no less. And if you can, try not to delete any. Try to create the photo first time. So really think about your framing, your point of view. those 7 elements of design. Yeah? Do you remember them? Shape, form, colour, line, pattern, texture and space. Try and incorporate that into your photographs. Okay, good luck. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've been Lee Aspland. This is Creative Smartphone Photography.